Good evening. It's day 8 of our Ageless Warriors Fitness Challenge. And I'm hoping that as we go through the month, that our numbers will grow. There are some people that are participating, but sporadically. So what I'm hoping is that we can do this as a group. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but you can actually post comments on my community tab. And that's been open now for a couple of months, but no one's posted there except for me. And I'd like people to talk about their own journey in physical fitness, even though we've only been doing this for a week. But I'd like to hear like some hopeful signs from people that you're starting to feel better, you're being more aware of getting more sleep or watching what you eat. That's what I've had to do. The holidays were quite grand and I had a lot of holiday cheer and a lot of food. So I am starting my intermittent fasting again, doing the exercises every day, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. The pants have not become looser yet, but it is a process. And when you're in your 60s, it takes a little bit longer to be able to get those results. I remember back in the day, I could just, cut back on having cookies every day and suddenly be slim a week later. But those days are long gone. But with a live yoga practice, I'm hoping people will comment in the comments section, maybe carry on a conversation if you're not going to practice tonight. But otherwise, ignore comments and just follow the practice. And we're not going to be just really low to the ground tonight. So if you have problems with your wrist, I'm going to try to give you some alternative ways of doing some of the poses just to be able to take that pressure off of your wrist. But also keep in mind that if you dig in with your fingers when we are on our hands, it does take a lot of the pressure off of your wrist. It's just a matter of doing that. And the motion itself in digging into that mat, if you try it right now, you'll actually feel that most of the pressure is being concentrated in your fingertips rather than your wrists. And it works with down dog, it works with plank. We're not going to do any plank tonight, so don't panic. But I do want to start in a seated position. And we're going to do a little bit of breathing first. And in order to get our heart rate up, I want to do breath of fire. If you're not familiar with breath of fire, what happens is that our inhale is passive and our exhale is forced. So I'm going to demonstrate. So I'm going to breathe in and out. And as soon as you're done with that exhale, you allow your abdomen to relax and your breath in should be passive. And we're going to do this for about 30 seconds. And you can keep your eyes closed. You can have your eyes open. It really doesn't matter. But what I'd like you to do is place your hands on your stomach and then breathe in. We're going to try it first. Breathe in and force the breath out. And feel your abdominal wall go in. So it's like we're trying to suck our navel to our spine in the middle of our breathing. And then immediately take a breath in and force it out again. Okay, so let's get started. Breathing in and out. Now I'm doing it through my mouth. You can do it through your nose like this. And that's it. So that should have been a good 30 seconds. I wasn't really counting, but it should give you just a flush of energy. You should feel your blood vessels opening up, especially in your head, which I know it seems odd, but with that forceful breathing out, we're actually helping our circulation. Now, we're going to do some side stretches. So place your right hand on the mat, reach up and overhead with that left hand, and over. Now, we're not going to take it really low tonight, so you don't have to try to get that right elbow down to the mat. But instead of going directly to the other side, we're going to arch our back, suck our navel to our spine, and take our left hand and sweep it across to where it ends up on the mat on the other side. Straighten our back, lift up with that right hand, and reach over. So we're getting a little bit of spinal flexion in on this. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So arch your back, suck your navel to your spine, sweep that right hand across, straighten your back as you lift up with that left hand and over. Now back to the left side, sweeping that hand, reaching up and straightening our spine and leaning over. Now we're going to take it to all fours. And again, with the wrists, if you dig into your mat with your fingertips, that should take some of the pressure off of your wrists. Or you can have your hands tented like this. And that will force you to put most of the pressure in your fingertips. But we're going to do a little bit of more spinal flexion. So we're going to drop our belly, digging into the top of our feet, into cow as we breathe in, and then arching our back into cat, still digging into our fingertips and the tops of our feet, breathing in for cow and out for cat. Now, if this is still too much for your wrists, you can do a seated cat-cow. One more time into cow. And cat. Now we're going to do hovering table. So this might be out of reach for people with weak wrists. So you can take a little break. But I want you to curl your toes under for this hovering table. And we're going to lift our knees, really digging into the mat with all 10 toes. You should feel your abdominal wall kicking in. And we're going to hold this for another count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower our knees. Now we're going to go into a little bit of a gait variation. So take your left foot and swing it towards the back of your mat. Place your left hand in the center of the mat to your left side. Straighten that right leg. Make sure your foot is flat and all parts of your sole are in contact with the mat. We're going to be digging into the top of that left foot, and we're going to lift our right hand as if we're pulling back a bow, and then up and overhead. Now from center, we want to lift up. It's almost like a half warrior. Then we're going to lower that left hand, bring our right knee to the mat, and we're going to get centered. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take the right hand, place it in the center of the mat to your right. Have your left foot, your left leg straight, first of all, and your left foot completely in contact with the mat. And as if we're pulling back a bow, use that left hand up and out. Well, not out, up. Now from center, we want to lift our torso in space to our half warrior on the other side. And then we're going to lower that right hand, swinging our right foot back into the mat, stepping up with our left foot and sweeping our arms up and overhead for crescent lunge. Now, while we're here, we're going to take our hands and bend our elbows with our hands spread apart, and it's like goalpost arms. Then reaching back up and down. So breathe in as you reach up and out as you reach down. Up and down. Now we're going to lower our hands to the mat, curl our right toes under, lift that back leg, and lower your right hand to the mat and lift up with that left hand for our twist. And then lower, step back into down dog. So we're facing in an opposite direction than we normally are on our mat. And what we're going to do, though, is we're going to go into that low lunge, but with our right foot forward. So step up with that right foot, lower that left knee, sweep your arms up and overhead. And again, goalpost arms as we breathe out, reaching up as we breathe in, really digging into the that back foot. Goalpost arms. Breathe in as we reach up, and goalpost arms as we breathe out. Now place your hands on the mat, curl the back toes under, left hand next to that right foot, and lift that right arm up to the sky. We're going to lower that right hand and then step up to a forward fold. So have a generous bend in those knees. And we're going to take our arms back behind our calves and then reach for your elbows with opposite hands. And then tuck your head to where your nose is reaching towards your knees. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths here. Breathing in and out. In and out. Then let go and sweeping our arms down to come up, volcano pose. Then sweeping our arms down to come up and then go straight to that forward fold again. This time we're going to lift up halfway. Make sure you look forward and lower. And sweep our arms up and overhead and then bring them down into prayer position. Now we're going to step to the center of our mat and we're going to go into a wide-legged forward fold. So have your feet as far apart as you can hold your balance while they're still out. And we're going to place our hands on our waist and lower halfway, pinching our shoulder blades together. And we're going to hold this position for a couple of breaths. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. You should feel your legs working hard to hold us upright in this position. Now we're going to continue into the forward fold. Place both hands on the mat, and you want to try to make sure that your hands are in line with the arches of your feet. And then reach down with the crown of your head as far as you can, as close to the mat as you can get your head. Then we're going to take our left hand, place it in the center, and we're going to do that same pulling back of the bow with our right hand and reach up towards the sky. And you want to try to keep your shoulders as far away from your ears as you can. And then dip down into that forward fold a little bit more. And then switching hands, right hand to the center of the mat. Pull back that bow. This time, try to stay in the forward fold while you're reaching up with that left hand. Breathe in and out. In and out. Now we're going to place our left hand on the mat, and instead of going straight up to a standing position, we're going to shift our left foot out and then walk forward with our hands, lower that right knee, and now we're in that crescent lunge on the normal side of our mat. And squeezing your thighs together, reaching up. Oh, I lost my balance. And we're going to do the goalpost arms again. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. One more time. Breathe in and out. Lower your hands. Place your right hand on the mat. Lift that back knee and twist. Tonight is the night of a twist. And then lower that left hand. Lower that knee. And we're going to place that left foot back and replace it with the right. So we're doing it slightly different on this side. End game is the same. Reaching up into that crescent lunge. Goalpost arms. Reaching up. And goalpost arms. Breathing in and out. Now placing that left hand on the mat, lifting that back knee, and reaching up to the sky with that right hand. Now we're going to lower, place the right foot back. We're not going into a down dog this time. We're going to go into an extended child's pose. So you want your knees as wide as the mat. You want your toes to touch. And we're going to lean back into our heels and reaching forward with our hands. And breathe in as we look forward and out as we lower our forehead to the mat. Breathing in and out. In and out. Take your hands and have kind of like a shark's fin over your head. And then reach forward with your elbows a little bit more. They'll give us a really good stretch in our upper back and our shoulders. So breathe in and out. In and out. Now we're going to come up, bring our knees together, and we're going to rise up to our knees, and we're going to go into a camel pose. Now we want to practice this first. The first thing you want to do is really engage your abdominal wall. So suck your navel to the spine, and then lean back just a little, and back up. Lean back, keep your hands on your stomach so that you can make sure that you've got those muscles engaged. Lean back and up. I'm starting to lose my voice. Now, when we lean back this next time, we want to reach towards our heel, our right heel with our right hand. So it's just the one hand. And then back up, then over to the other side. Left hand to left heel, and back up. Right heel, and back up. Left heel, and back up. Now this time, we're going to reach back with both hands. So reaching back with both hands. And then lean your head back, and then rise back up. So that was a quick one. So now we're going to hold it a little bit longer. So we're going to reach with both hands at the same time. Really keep your abdominal wall engaged the entire time as you're leaning back, and don't even let it go when you finally reach your heels. So we're going to go back, lean our head, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up. All of the work was in our abdominal wall and our quads. So you should have really felt that. And if you started shaking, that's actually a really good thing. That's prana, that's energy coursing through your body. Now cross your ankles and come through to a seated position. We're going to sit upright in a staff position. Now when we hold this, you want to feel all the muscles in your legs engaged. And you can place your hands on the mat beside you. Now, if you have longer arms than I do, you can actually even lift yourself up. My poor little arms are too short for me to get anything up off the mat. I can push down, but nothing moves. Now, with the legs engaged, you want to push your thighs down, and you might even feel your feet rise up from the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. We're going to take a deep breath in. There's a lot of muscles working, even though it doesn't look like it. Breathe in and out. Make sure your spine is nice and straight. You should feel your legs start to shake. Breathe in and out. Now we're going to take our right knee and we're going to place our right foot right next to the inside of our left thigh. Take your left hand, wrap it around that knee, and then reach back with your right hand. Now you don't want to crash into that hand. You want to keep your spine nice and straight so that it's just your fingers, just kind of like a little kickstand. We're not holding ourselves up with our fingers. All of that's coming from our spine and our abdomen. Then take a deep breath in and twist. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side and keep digging into the mat with the leg that's extended. So bring your left foot up and in. Take your right hand, wrap it around that knee. Keep your back nice and straight, digging in with that straight leg. Breathe in and twist. I was wondering if they were going to bark. I have 2 wild dogs downstairs. Hopefully my microphone's not picking it up. And then release, straighten both legs, then hands together out in front. You can have your fingers interlaced with a steeple grip. And we're going to lower as slow as we can to the mat. And then bring your knees up and give yourself a big hug. You can rock back and forth. Should feel really good, especially after doing that camel pose. I hope you tried it. I know that when I first started practicing yoga, that was the one that I avoided. I did the leaning back, but I never went all the way back and put my feet on my heels. But it's really good, and it works out your muscles without too much strain. Like when I started running again, the first run that I did, it was very short. It's just 1.5 miles. Boy, I was sore the next day. You use different muscles for different things, and it's just really hard to get back into it if you haven't done it for a while. Now we're going to lift that left leg to the sky, still holding onto our right knee. And we're going to lower that leg nice and slow. Let it hover just a little bit above the mat. You can have your toes pointed or flexed, really doesn't matter. The work that we're doing is on our abdominal wall. Then we're going to switch. Hug that left leg, right leg up to the sky, and lower, nice and slow. Try to keep your shoulder blades on the mat. When you get right to the point where you feel your abdominal wall kick in, just let that leg hover. Now we're going to hug both knees into our chest and then lower our legs and allow your legs to completely relax. And your hands down at your side. We're going to stay here in Shavasana for a few moments, letting the nutrients of our practice sink in. Yoga is amazing. It works so many different muscle groups without too much. Well, it is hard work, but it's so fluid that you don't feel it, which is, you feel the good part of it, but you don't feel the bad part. Like when we put our muscles through a lot of stress, like running, you feel it the next day and it doesn't feel good. With yoga, you feel it the next day, but it's like, wow, that feels so good. So one last breath together in this practice. You can take your hands together and your thumbs to your third eye. Take a deep breath in and out. So now I haven't been checking to see if anybody came in. I'm going to just crawl on over on my knees and check and see if there's any comments. And okay, Well, it's a small group. So, and I think my streaming might have stopped. All right. So the internet is strong. It's frozen. All right. Hopefully you can still hear me.